Good morning, team. This is Zach with Spatial Vision. This is a demo and tutorial video for our new tool, the floor level analysis. Now, this isn't a beta version, so we are currently working on refining the accuracy of this, but we have got it to a point where we want to release it to our clients so that you can start using it and offering some feedback with us. So let's go ahead and take a peek at how this works. I'm going to go ahead and click on floor level analysis. And now we've got options. Okay, we've got filling, grinding and filling. These are the tolerances we have. We've got a complete flat tolerance, some different tolerances for different standards in the flooring installation industry. And so we're going to go ahead and look at grinding and filling, and we're going to look at a complete flat tolerance. So this guy, right off the bat, so we're going to take our highest elevation point and we're going to calculate the amount of material and fill to bring all of these data points to our highest elevation. That's the filling. With the grinding and filling, we can choose an amount of elevation points that we want to grind off of the highest elevation points and essentially bring all of our high points down to a certain level, and then estimate the amount of fill needed in those areas. So we'll do actually filling right off the bat. We also have minimum fill thresholds. So what this is essentially is I'm going to leave this on 0 for the first run through, but this setting will filter out imperfections that don't require filling. As you can see here, for example, with an 1/8 of an inch threshold, if you had data points around that or areas on the floor that required less than an 1/8 of an inch of fill material, we're going to ignore it because nothing needs to be done to that area for you to install floor on that tolerance of movement. Start analysis. All right, so this is our perfect flat tolerance. Now, off the cuff, the material volume, this is the one that you want to look at. As I mentioned, we are in beta right now, so don't worry about this volume guy right here. You want the material volume in cubic feet here. So this is estimating we need 85.5 cubic feet to lift the floor level to a perfect flat to 0.4. So let's explore real quick. Expand my scale, and so you can see here this is our fill map. So this was our highest elevation, so no fill needs to be done here, and now we are telling you approximately how much fill, color coded, needs to be put into these areas to raise everything to a 0.4. You can download this map here just like you can with the topo maps, so you can pull this into your information and your reports, similar with your scale, which has your filling data and everything else on there. So this is the complete flat. Go ahead and come over here to controls. So now let's go ahead and go for grinding and filling. We're going to restart the analysis. We're going to leave our minimum fill threshold on 0. Now we get to pick how much we want to grind off before we do our material estimates. So this time 0.4 is our highest. Let's say we're going to take 0.4 off our highest elevation points. So our new target range, our new target level is going to be 0, 0. So after we grind, that will be our highest elevation points. All right, now you see with the target level of 0, 0, our material volume has significantly decreased. Again, right, because we're not going to be adding an extra 0.4 of an inch to all of these data points across the floor. So let's go ahead and start exploring. So again, this is our fill map, and you see we're not filling anything essentially above 0.0 this time. You see here we only need that 2.4 to fill to get up to 0. I'm going to click our grind map here. Great. Now this is our grind map. So again, everything below 0 is not getting any kind of grind, but these guys are going to get ground down to 0, 0 per what we entered into software. You can download that here, so you can pull this into your maps and give to your GCs, or you can use it yourself. All right, and now we're going to look at tolerances. Let's go ahead and check out, we're going to do a 1/4 inch per 10 feet. So now we're not going for complete flat. Our topo maps and our work maps are going to look a little bit different because, again, we're not measuring and filling or lifting to a perfect line. We're trying to get you a line that's even enough for the installation of your flooring, but not too uneven, that you can't install it. So we're going to do small mosaic tile. We can go ahead and leave our minimum fills off still. We're going to do the same thing for our grinding. So we're going to grind 0.4 down, and then everything will be filled essentially with 0, 0, as our new start point for our tolerance line. And this one does take a little bit longer. So when we do the tolerance calculations, they're a little more robust than the perfect flat ones. And so we do one pass over and we essentially create a map. We do another pass over building on top of the map we made the first time. And that will get us to a certain accuracy percentage. When we look at this here in a few moments, we'll see how accurate our first run through was. Sometimes we get accurate enough right off the bat. Other times we essentially can click rerun, and that will do another couple iterations on top of the ones we already did, further refining the accuracy and the material estimate. So I'm going to let this sit for a few moments. And this is about comparable to the foundation analysis, to be honest. This guy usually takes about 2 to 5 minutes, 2 to 6 minutes, depending on the size of the footprint and the number of data points that we have to reference. All right, let's start investigating. Now this time, you can see we have our material volume here, and this number has changed a little bit. For these guys, you're actually going to want to look at the volume here when you're doing your tolerances. This has the more accurate estimation for the flooring tolerances. Let's start exploring. All right, so you can see right here that this said 59%. So we can choose to rerun this to try and increase our accuracy. And this is essentially how your maps are going to look. You get different kinds of maps that are going to give you different fill patterns because, again, we're going for flat enough, not perfect flat. So these guys, no work is done here, right? We ground these down to 0, 0. And so essentially now we are working on filling this area to be within a 1/4 inch deviation over every 10 feet. So I'm going to click rerun, and again, just for transparency's sake, we are in the beta version of the software. So the perfect flat is working really, really well. This portion for the flooring tolerance is working and giving us some meaningful information, but you might have to rerun it a couple times. And one of the things that we can really use some help with as a company is we need some real world examples if you are interested in chatting with me about offering us some projects with data points and the amount of material that you installed on that project to get to your flooring tolerance before you installed your materials, we could really use some information like that to double check our accuracy and continue fine tuning how accurate our software is. So please reach out to me at any point in time, zach@tangsol.com, ZACH@TENGSOL, and let's have a conversation about sharing some information to help our software be more accurate.